You're listening to a Count Out Podcast.
Curtis, tell me this. If I was to give you a list of human beings right now, how about you tell me what they have in common, okay? So.
All right, you hit me.
I'm hitting you. New Japan roster members. Master Wato, Tenzan, Dick Togo, Kanemaru, Bad Luck Fale, Gedo, Satoshi Kojima, Vegeta, Taiji Ishimori, Doki, ELP, Tangaloa, Tiger Mask, Tama Tonga, and Suzuki.
So for the most part, they're people I don't want to see in the New Japan Cup. There's a couple in there who I do. I love Satoshi Kojima.
Mm-hmm.
That's one
Mm-hmm.
that I would love to see. I think he can still go. Taiji Ishimori, yeah, throw in a couple of juniors. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
ELP is fantastic. Let's see what he can do against a heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did you name?
Wato's in there.
Bad Luck Fale,
Tama Tonga, and Tangaloa.
Okay. Tonga. The God. I'm down. Let's go. What else?
Vegeta's a young lion, isn't he? Vegeta.
Yeah, Vegeta. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then Dick Togo, Gedo.
Again, people I don't want to see in a New Japan Cup.
Yeah, cool. So, would you think that any of those people have earned a fucking bye to not immediately be in the first round? They're waiting for the likes of, let's just throw out a few, low-key names that may be in it. I don't know, Okada, Naito, Ibushi, Great-O-Khan, Will Ospreay, Evil, Hiromu, El Desperado, I don't know, Jeff Cobb. Like, all of these people have an entire round before they run into the super bosses that I just listed out for you. I left off Sonata, and I felt like he's the maybe only person that I would consider deserving a bye because he just won a title. Like, so maybe before that title, absolutely not. Which is why I think they put the title on him, so they were at least like, no, see, not everybody doesn't deserve the bye in the first round.
So I think the way that they've done it here, is meant to look 100% random, right? But guys, this is pro wrestling.
Is it
Nothing is 100% random.
Yeah,
like when it's random, it's still not random. Somebody has a book that they write down.
We know
what they want to do these things in.
So they have chosen
what order they want to do these things.
They have chosen this, and we all know that, and that's fine. And you know what? They can do that, and they can be the second round. But just give me some story. Like, give me any kind of reason for anything. And I'm not really sure I see what it was. Like, other than being like, hey, these guys aren't even good enough to, like, exist. Like, they're just literally waiting to get mowed. Like, I wonder if, what would be interesting? So these are the first round matchups, and there's some cool ones in here. And then I assume the winner goes on to verse one of the winner's brigade that I just listed. Unless maybe you do all of these matches and then the loser goes on to verse one of these fucking losers. And then you, I don't know, have a rematch. But yeah, it just seems messy. So this is your round one. Curtis has not read any of these, and I'm just dropping him in it right now so I can sort of vent out my thoughts on this entire thing in the Faces and Feels New Japan Cup date. That's right, I'm bringing it back. Exactly. I just needed to get my head around it. It's not another interview this week. We're just going to talk all New Japan and just really air it out. So, New Japan Cup 2022 round 1 starts with Shima versus Taka Michinoku.
All right, I'm down with that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably a match that should have taken place about, maybe 10 years ago.
Oh.
But, and I'm sure it actually might have taken place about 10 years ago. But
it's back.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll watch that.
Okay, then. Okay. Well, Honma versus Yoshihashi.
Ooh. Okay. So Yoshihashi has really turned it on for me in the last 2 years. So I'm down with it. Honma last year, I think he had a match against, was it who did he have a match with?
Hiromu.
It was Hiromu.
He had a really
he had
good
a great
match
match with Hiromu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like they tapped him on the shoulder and he went for it, and I dig it. Yeah. So maybe you can have something there. I definitely would not want to see Honma any further than that. Honma it's always scary for me to watch Honma matches because it's just like, is he going to drop somebody, or is somebody going to like fall on him the wrong way and hurt him, like
paralyze him or whatever.
Oh,
exactly.
Scary.
I like Honma, but I don't. Yeah, it's it is concerning. After that, you've got Nagata versus Goto.
Ooh, Nagata versus Goto. Okay, so I wish Yuji Nagata was like my dad. Same. So I'm going to be pulling for Nagata there. The Nagata match that he had in the New Japan Cup with Suzuki in 2020, I believe it was 2020. Great match, absolutely fantastic.
Nagata can
just
go,
fire,
man.
Just elbows.
Absolutely.
If you listen right now, you can still hear those elbows like echoing,
reverberating.
So much fun. And Goto, for his, for as much as people like to rag on him, the dude can go. Mm-hmm. So I'm down with it. Let's watch that one. That'll be fun.
That's mega dad energy, that match. Then it's Makabe versus Cobb. It's going to be interesting because Cobb's known for throwing his opponents around, and Makabe hasn't taken a bump since fucking, I don't know, the 1990s. But
I was going to ask you, what are the actual chances? Gun to your head, do you think Togi Makabe takes the tour of the islands?
I think Makabe wins complete squash match. And Cobb gets run over. There's literally no way that'll happen. There's literally no way.
I wish this was a video podcast because you could watch me almost throw up in my mouth.
Curtis did not know I was joking, and he looked disgusted with me when I suggested that. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how you get Togi Makabe to take the tour of the islands. Like Cobb's just got to pick him up and do it. Like it won't even be.
Tour of the islands hard way, brother.
Remember, we're going to have to see some upsets in this first round. Maybe Makabe hits that knee, lights out, brother. Sorry, Cobb.
Oh God,
I know.
No, Cobb's my pick.
Yeah, well, we're going to go through picks and we're going to break it down and kind of talk about some interesting story points that we won't see as this plays out. But
we might. Come on. Hey, if we throw enough shit at the wall, we might actually get one.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping for.
We can make a few predictions.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was telling you this off air, is that like, for me, New Japan it's my favorite. Like, it's my absolute favorite. But they've really been tired over this pandemic and stuff. And you know what? That's fine. And that's understandable to a certain point. But now it's just starting to feel lazy. Because you can only tread water for so long before you're like, guess what? Jay White isn't going to be here. We can't bring in the Travelers. We don't have, things going on. Now we need to start telling stories with our massive roster. We're listing off 48 wrestlers here, not all of which are stunning, every one of which can go, though, maybe with the exception of Jado. And like there's like things that can be done, There's stories that you can tell as we go through this. And I've given this a little bit of thought, not too much because I like to yell on the fly and get worked up on stuff. There's gonna need to be upsets and stuff, and there's interesting stories you could tell to essentially use the New Japan Cup to maybe launch a new star. Yeah, that's what I like to see from tournaments. I like to see somebody get their flowers and then maybe give them an opportunity. Doesn't mean they need to then go on to win the title, but I want to see something happen.
Well, that's what it is normally every time, because you get Zack Sabre Jr., Katsuyori Shibata, Evil. You get people winning the New Japan Cup and becoming the number one contender, and that's something that they gain to launch a new star. Like, yeah, they may not win. Sometimes they do. It worked out for Evil. But then you don't always get to hold the big boy belt, of course, and a lot of those people don't get to win, but they get that cup.
Yes,
it was really,
which is cool. It's
everyone
like a nice
knows
tick.
that picture.
Yeah,
everyone knows that picture of Katsuyori Shibata sitting there with the confetti raining down, and he's got the cup next to him, and he's sitting cross-legged on the mat.
Yeah,
like, that's a moment that's going to live for New Japan for a long time. So yeah, New Japan Cup's very important, and it always launches a new star and a new competitor to that main event scene.
In theory, it does those things. At the moment, where I'm feeling about it is that it's been so flat and so uncreative that I'm not convinced that's what's going to happen, and yeah, I really want it to. So as we continue to break this down, we'll play out some scenarios and kind of think about who we would maybe, like to take advantage of that opportunity. So then the next one we were up to was Yano versus Taichi.
Oof. Yeah, Yano's a skip for me, but I love Taichi, so I don't know, man. Like, you were just saying we're gonna have to take a couple of buys in the first round. Somebody's gonna come out that shouldn't. It's almost always a threat from Yano, and that's gonna really upset me because I love Taichi, and I would love to see Taichi win a New Japan Cup. He's worked really hard for the last few years to become more than he was in like 2017, 2018, that sort of thing. So when you look at Taichi and you look at Yano, Taichi should obviously go over, but you can never ever count against Yano, and it sucks.
Well, I know, and I mean, he's the king of pro wrestling champion, so that's something to be worried about.
On 2 years on the hop, he's the king of pro wrestling.
Jesus Christ. Taichi is actually one that we'll put a pin in, and we'll come back to him, because when this is just sort of a list of the different people, and then we'll actually look at the brackets and look at who they stagger out against, because Taichi's one that I would like to see potentially go far in this tournament. Yeah. Because he does, if he can get past Yano and whatever other person he's got, he's in the side with Okada. So there's something that can be done there. Yeah.
Yeah, they can reignite that from a couple of years ago.
Absolutely. So there's something that can be done there. Anyway, we'll quickly zip through all the matches just so you've got a vibe of it, and then we'll duck back to the actual brackets and stuff. So Tanahashi versus Yo. Could be interesting.
Different, but okay.
Yeah. As long as Yo's not wrestling Show for the 1,500th time, I'm interested to see what he could do.
Yeah, no one's going to be hit with a wrench in that match, so I guess that'll be fine.
Run in by Show on that one, or
there might well be. There
could be. God. It was it Team No Limit explodes and Naito versus Yujiro.
Oh, God. Oh, no. They're going to have Yujiro beat Naito, aren't they?
It's not looking good, but we'll see how that goes. This match, though, this next match, you're going to lose your mind. Okada versus Despy.
Is in the New Japan Cup and not on the anniversary show.
Correct. It's the first round match for Okada. Curtis's face looks very concerned.
So... New Japan is a company that built themselves on tradition. They have the tradition in the company is the main vein throughout their entire history. They always build on their tradition first and foremost. The tradition is you have the junior champ face the heavyweight champ at the anniversary show. But this is in the New Japan Cup.
Yeah. Does the New Japan Cup start on the anniversary show? I haven't looked at the dates.
No, the anniversary show is full of tag matches, which, I mean, they look great, but they're the same tag matches we've all been seeing for the last 2 years. So, I mean,
you think
it's
you'd
not
put
really
that hot headliner of Okada versus Despy there? Anyway, that's another one. We'll go back into that again, because that's the very first match we're going to talk about when we break it down. Despy's another
I'm sure
one.
That'll be the main event on that day, of course, but like, wouldn't you rather see a big sold out hot audience ready for that match specifically, instead of just the first day of the New Japan Cup.
Yes, I would.
You know,
And also as well, like when they do that exhibition match, you sort of know which way it's gonna go. You know, usually the junior champ is not going to beat the heavyweight champion, and you know that, but you're gonna expect like, you know, a headline banger, you know, between them.
right?
This one does add stakes to that, and that's interesting. Do I think they would pull the trigger on it? Probably not. But man, I don't. The run of if Despy upset Okada and the run he could go on would be everything I ever wanted in wrestling. It won't happen, but imagine how fucking cool that would be. We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Nakashima versus Hanare.
Yuto Nakashima?
Yeah, he's one of the young lions, yeah?
Yeah, the young lion versus Hanare.
Yep.
Wow, are they going to have Hanare lose to young lion?
No.
Oh my God.
Nah, there's no way Hanare's losing to that young lion.
No, okay. No, this is not Hanare from a year and a half ago, so I guess there's no trouble of that. No danger of that happening.
Again, another pin in him. Want to see... I'm not sure they would have him win it, but there's a potential he could get some upsets in there, and I think he deserves it. I think since they've relaunched him, they really haven't even used him yet, you know? Like,
well, no, he's been out of the country for most part since they relaunched him.
Yeah, exactly. And then when he's there, he's, you know, eating pins, maybe grabbing a couple, but yeah, nothing crazy. Hasn't had like a big singles match or anything. Then it's...
I don't think beating a young lion is going to do it for him.
No,
I don't think that's going to be that win that he can build his career around.
Signature win? No, not yet. Oiwa versus ZSJ.
Oh, I love Oiwa. I think he's got a mean aura about him, and him versus Zack Sabre Jr. is one that I can dig that one. I'll get in on that.
Yeah, exactly. Bushi versus Ospreay.
Oh, well, I mean, we've seen that a couple of times, and it never really works out well for Bushi, does it?
I don't think it's going to this time. This one will be interesting, and we'll say it, and then we'll talk about it when we get to the thing. But Ibushi versus Okan.
Oh, see, now you pique my interest.
Yeah, so
that one sounds fun.
That's cool, but that is going to pale in comparison to this next first round banger. You're still sitting down? Yep. Okay. Chase Owens versus Jado. Matt Classic.
Wait. Is Jado still a member of the Bullet Club? Because I know they kicked out Tamatanga and Tonga.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? We are going to find out.
Oh my God, that sounds like me going to get a cup of coffee and walk the dog during that match. I will not be watching that.
Taguchi versus Evil.
Oof. I love you, Taguchi. Taguchi, my wife's favorite wrestler. Yeah. That one's going to be hardcore. I hope you're ready to get kicked in the dick a couple of times.
Can't wait for it. Hiromu versus Sho.
Okay. Yeah, no, good match. That'll be great up until Sho makes a funny face and hits Hiromu with a wrench.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And then Ishii versus Shingo.
Okay. See, I was one of the people that really liked that match in the G1, and I thought that was a absolutely fantastic time. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's kind of samey, it's a little bit boring." If that match goes 25 minutes, yeah, it's going to be a little bit samey. If that match goes 15 minutes, it's going to be white hot, buddy.
Yeah, absolute banger. All right, so let's jump up to the left-hand side of the bracket because this is going to give you like an idea of how it sort of plays out. So,
okay,
up in the very top left, we've got Okada versus El Desperado with Master Wato waiting in the wings for the victor.
So it's a second round bye, basically.
Yes.
Because both those guys should have no trouble beating Wato. Desperado just beat Wato just the other day for the title.
Just happened.
And Okada, who we expect Okada will beat Desperado, like Wato's nowhere near his level, nor his weight class. So like that should just be, I mean, it's like second round bye.
Almost. Yeah, basically. Unless El Desperado upsets Okada.
Even then, I think that they wouldn't have Wato beat Desperado.
No.
Because I mean, like he just got a win over him in a I think it was a tag team match to set up the title defense, and then Desperado beat him pretty handily in the title defense.
Yeah, exactly. And like, are they going to run back Desperado and Wato? Like, it almost predicts that like Okada's just steamrolling through that.
Yeah. No, this is a cakewalk for Okada. So it's going to be a great first match, and then, like I said, a bye second round.
Yep.
Easy.
Well, let's talk about then what he's looking at for his third round then. So in the bracket below, it's going to be Yano versus Taichi, and then with Tenzan waiting for whoever comes through that.
What circle of hell is it going to be in to watch Toru Yano versus Hiroshi Tenzan?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm fucking saying. So if Taichi beats Yano and Tenzan, now we're getting somewhere. Then you're talking Taichi and Okada. That's awesome. I love seeing those two together. I've talked about it before, but I loved, there was when Okada was champion and he was versing Suzuki for the belt, there was a moment when he walked down to the ring, full Rainmaker, going sick, entire Suzuki gun's there. He gets to the bottom of the ramp and Taichi's like in his way, like looking at him like, what's up, motherfucker? Okada looks him up and down and just smirks at him and walks around him and then goes and gets in the ring like he was literally nothing. Now, that was prior to being King's Road, Taichi that we see now. And I love to think in my own mind that was the moment when he's like, I need to fucking get better. You know what I mean? Because I'm not even on this guy's level. And then you started to see him after that. So I'm like, man, Okada was the motivation for that, the level of disrespect that Taichi realized he was finally a fucking joke and needed to like lift his game. So I would love to see those two come head to head, and then I would love to see Taichi beat him. Like, I'd love to see
finally beat him.
Finally beat him in the New Japan Cup, setting up a future title shot for Taichi, and then launching him into the semifinals.
Title shot for Taichi. You just made me so happy with those few little words there.
That makes the most positive way that section of the bracket works out. Yeah. Unless Desperado just beats everybody, in which case.
Well, that's the thing is we could have that Suzuki Gun, Desperado versus Taichi moment. That would be pretty cool.
That would be amazing. So that would be really cool too. So either of those would work. I feel like it's more likely it would be Okada versus Taichi, and probably Okada just going all the way to the finals. But I feel like there is some opportunities for some interesting stuff there. Not everywhere on this bracket, but definitely there.
No.
Okay. There's some
that quadrant looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So how about this scenario? Wato takes out Okada, and then Yano versus Tenzan. Tenzan hits him with the chops. We've got Yano versus Tenzan. Tenzan goes through.
Everything you're saying is everything I've never wanted to hear in my life.
Yep. Well,
I am a huge Tenzan nerd. Like since WCW in the late 90s, I love Tenzan, right? But Jesus, like the dude, his ankles are made of gravel. Yeah. He can't lift his arms above his
crystal.
nipples. The dude,
his one foot isn't on the right way. Like, it's pointing in the wrong direction. Like, he should not be in the ring. Like, I'm very worried about him.
You ever seen that movie Best in Show?
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, where the dude literally has two left feet.
Yeah, that is Tenzan. Putting out his prize dogs on the weekend.
It's so funny because I so often I'll go back and watch old Tenzan matches from like, 2000 or something like that, just to see like the days when he was able to lift his arms above his nipples.
Yeah.
And
because he was good, right? I mean, I've never gone
he's
back.
I love, dude. Go back and watch some of the old like NWO Japan stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That stuff was great. Tenzan was awesome.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at this then. I think what we're going to do with these predictions, which is going to be fun, is we're going to do best scenario, worst scenario for each section of the block as it gets into it. So do we think that out of Okada, Desperado, Wato, Yano, Taichi, and Tenzan, the best winner of all of those is Taichi? or El Desperado. So Taichi's our best case scenario.
I think Taichi, being able to say New Japan Cup champion Taichi, would be the best thing.
He needs
for
it,
me
man. That'd be so fucking killer for him. Like, I agree. I feel like and I didn't even realize that till today. I was gonna be on a tear about El Desperado, but I really feel like Taichi needs it.
El Desperado has been on such a tear for the last 2 years, like really just shutting people up and proving that he's more than he's ever been he's better than he's ever been in his entire life. His entire career, he's been overlooked for people like Kushida or Hiromu, and now he can say like, no, I'm the best. I walked into Wrestle Kingdom as champion. I walked out of Wrestle Kingdom as champion. I carried this belt through a Best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah.
Like he's a badass.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a New Japan Cup. A New Japan Cup, it's a heavyweight tournament, man.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't lose any prestige losing to the heavyweight champion. So
no, not at all.
Yeah, exactly.
That might be why they protected him.
Yeah. Just put him right in the front and then it's fine. So, okay, the next block we have Nagata and Goto, and waiting in the wings is the dastardly Dick to go. I'll take my Dick to go, please.
One Dick to go?
Yeah, exactly. So I think we can agree out of those, probably the best case scenario is Goto mowing through Nagata and to go.
So I'm looking at this, and I've got it in front of me now. It looks like you've got Yuji Nagata and Hiroki Goto and a bunch of juniors for this quadrant, and we'll get through that soon.
There are a few down there, I think. Yeah.
So whoever wins that match, Yuji Nagata and Hiroki Goto, is going to be in like the semis.
Well, whoever. So it's Nagata and Goto, Dick Togo waiting, and then the block below that they'll meet up with will be either Shima, Taka, or Kanemaru.
Or Kanemaru. So yeah, junior. So you've got Yuji Nagata, Hiroki Goto, and 4 juniors. So unless there's a major upset there, like it looks like either Nagata or Goto will just walk through to meet up with the winner of the block above them.
Mm-hmm. So do we count Shima as a junior?
I think technically he is, right?
I don't know.
Who's got the Wikipedia page? Shima.
So I think we can agree though that out of Nagata, Goto, and Togo, Goto's the best scenario, and then out of Shima, Taka, and Kanemaru, Shima's the best situation. So then you've got Shima and Goto, and then you would think Goto the win. But
so that's one of those ones that could be a thing. Oh yeah, okay. So I've got it right now. Build weight for Shima is 85 kg, so he's definitely a junior.
Okay then, cool. So then that means that we're gonna look. It's almost certain that we're gonna see Goto versing the winner of that earlier block. You would think,
yeah,
unless they wanted to, because Shima's GLEAT, they want to, push the one guest that they have in this tournament, the one single guest amongst 48 men, further in the tournament.
So are you ready for the worst case scenario? I've got it right here.
Okay, yeah, hit me with it.
So Shima versus Taka Michinoku is a great match. Mm-hmm. Shima versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru is a great match. Mm-hmm. Shima lines up to get dick punched by Dick Togo.
That is the worst case scenario. So we're saying do we think best case is Shima or Goto?
I think, okay, so the winner of this would line up with
Taichi or Tenzan.
Yeah, Taichi Tenzan.
Depending which timeline we get.
Shima versus Taichi, I'm into it. Taichi versus Hiroki Goto, I've seen before.
Yeah. Let's go Shima. That's interesting. Let's let it roll.
Taichi versus Hiroki Goto, I've seen it before. Yuji Nagata versus Taichi might be cool. I don't think that they'd work that poor 54-year-old man until the wheels fall off.
No way. You can see like maybe a Kojima or something going further, but Nagata will just be in for a good time, not a long time. Okay, so
Yeah.
our best case scenario is Shima. Our worst case scenario is Togo.
I think the best case scenario for me, no matter what, is Yuji Nagata, his eyes rolling back and his head, and him ripping Dick Togo's arm off and beating him with it.
So you want to see Nagata go past Goto? Okay, let's go Nagata. Fuck it, that's way cooler. Let's go Nagata.
Yeah,
Blue
Nagato-
Justice. Let's do it.
Yeah, Nagato beats Goto and beats Dick Togo, and then maybe loses to Shima. I don't think they'd have him go that far, but I would love to just watch Nagata just absolutely clobber Dick Togo.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's go with that. All right.
I don't think that Goto would punish Dick Togo like he needs to be, and I think that Nagata would.
Yeah, I think you are 100% correct, and I love it. And then because the arm has been torn off, rendering all dick punches impossible for the rest of the tournament. It'd be sick.
Cannot use a spoiler choker with one
Can't
hand.
use the garrote because he can't get the arm up. That's great. Okay. Then next after that, we've got Tanahashi versus Yo with the monstrous Bad Luck Fale waiting in the wings.
Oof. Goodness gracious. So that's how many people that can actually move around the ring? One. One. So Tanahashi, I mean, you expect him to beat Yo.
So that's where it comes into it, right? So everything so far has been pretty predictable. Do you do an upset there as a bit of a boost to Yo's career and get him where he runs into Bad Luck Fale and then Fale obviously rolls him? Or do you run back like the great Tanahashi Fale matches of the past and roll it through?
I'm just
because Fale could definitely knock those guys out. I mean, they paid for a plane ticket. You know what I mean? Like maybe send him deep as a spoiler. You know.
So looking at it, like Fale should be, and they're wanting to probably push the show that he's doing right now, the Lions Roar.
Yeah,
I love that show. By the way, it's really good.
It's great. It's a great documentary. Check it out if you haven't.
So yeah, let's go. Let's say Yo gets a win over Tanahashi.
Gets a surprise roll up. Tanahashi doesn't give a fuck. Like he'll be wanting to build him. I think Yo comes through, runs into Bad Luck Fale, just squashed to death, and then Fale rolls through that.
Oh no, I don't know if we can do Yo versus Tanahashi because I'm looking at the next block down. That was the one that, like, when you read it out to me, that's the one I said, oh, there's the upset.
Uh-huh.
The bracket buster is Yujiro versus Naito.
Yep.
I don't think they'd have a bracket buster with Yo and then a bracket buster with Yujiro in the same block together.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, man.
Maybe I'm giving them too much. See, this is me trying to see at the moment. I'm not really trying to predict what I think they'll do as much as what I think would be interesting. You know what I mean? I want to try and go best case and worst case is what we're looking at. Because what I think would happen is just Okada wins everything. is the end thing. You know, like you need to really put the stamp that is the champ, you know. But I would say I'm going to go with that. Regardless, I think you'll probably see Fale through both those guys.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so Naito and then Takahashi, right?
Yeah.
And Team No Limit explodes.
But then But then who's waiting for them but Gato? Are you gonna do Huge versus Gato?
I would love to see Yujiro get that big win. He got a really nice win against what was it, Kota Ibushi in the G1 last year, right?
Yeah, but that's his one for his career. That's all he gets.
Yeah, I would love to see him hit that huge DDT on Naito, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then I don't think anyone's going to sell tickets on the back of huge versus Gato. People might pay to see Naito beat up Gato, and I think even for a squash match that would be, with how good Naito is at setting out his matches, they could probably get some gold out of there somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, which makes, now that we talk about it, the Yo thing seem even more likely to me. Because, I think Naito's going through both those Bullet Club dudes.
Okay, and then he's running up against Bad Luck Fale. God, Naito's going to have just all sorts of Bullet Club fun,
exactly.
Okay, so
But does Fale take out Naito? Is that the upset? Or are you sending Naito deep? I don't think Naito's winning this because he just versed Okada. Like, though I may I think they may be back together at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't think there's going to be another title match this quick.
I'm going to say no. I don't think he's going to go win it. He's not going to win it. He doesn't need to win it. Naito's a main eventer. They're going to have someone who's a little bit lower on the card win it. That's the way it almost always works.
Yeah. So do you think it's the Fale upset here? It's like there's been too much Bullet Club shit. Naito's thwarting all the fucking cheating and he's been punched in the dick 1,000 times. He runs into bad luck Fale, takes that bad luck fall, and that's it?
This, to me right here, with Fale, with Yujiro, with Geto. So we've got Geto. We know that Geto's not in the House of Torture. Yujiro is.
Yeah.
We don't know where Fale stands. These are three possible different factions within Bullet Club working. There's some sort of story that's going to be risen there. I don't think that Fale is going to be able to get over Naito. I think we're going to see Naito make it to the, what is that? That's not the semis. It is the semis. No, sorry, it's the quarterfinals. I think we'll see Naito make it to the quarterfinals that way.
So Naito's best case scenario. What's worst case scenario here out of
Geto?
Geto,
100%.
Geto is 100%. All right, because it's going to be fun when we run it back at the end. Worst New Japan Cup winner versus best New Japan Cup winner is going to be a funny.
I think Yujiro, like, you can at least like kind of laugh and like, oh, huge, look at him go.
Yeah,
like you can have fun with that. So he's not like Geto. No one wants to see Geto win anything.
No.
Like,
I don't think even Geto wants to see himself win anything.
Yeah, it's not 1994. Don't joke around, Geto.
Yeah. Okay. So then on to the next block here. We've got Makabe versus Cobb with Kojima waiting.
Oh, that's beefy.
That is. That's a beefy 3. I feel like Cobb's steamrolling through them all unless Makabe's like, that doesn't work for me, brother. And then fucking gorilla knee drops fucking everybody and it ends up in the fucking quarters.
I'm wondering how they're gonna, because Makabe doesn't do, he doesn't lay down for anybody.
No.
Like he's never taken pins. Even in the dad matches and stuff like that, he'll come in, he'll throw like a couple of lariats, and then he tags right back out, and that's his work done for the night.
Yeah.
So, God, he's not going to take suplex after suplex after suplex after Tour of the Islands.
Nah.
Oh God, but I want Jeff Cobb to win. I want Jeff Cobb to win.
I
so
feel
bad.
like Cobb's going to win. I feel like, yeah, I just don't know how they structure that match. Maybe Makabe's just like working that night. Maybe he saw that fucking on the board and he was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's like, you can go, you can shoot, bro. Shoot against Jeff Cobb.
Yeah. And then he's like,
you try and sandbag Jeff Cobb. Jeff Cobb's a cigarette machine with a head.
Yeah,
he will throw you.
This might be the bookers going, we're sick of Makabe's shit. Let's fucking send him an ass whooping. Like,
yeah, try it.
Yeah. Kojima versus Cobb is going to be great, but I think we can agree that best case scenario through this will be Cobb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then after that, we've got Honma, Yoshihashi with Young Lion Fujita waiting for the winner.
Kosei Fujita.
I'm wondering what if Honma gets the upset and then he's essentially got the bye of a Young Lion so he can rest to be ready to be slaughtered by Jeff Cobb as he takes the second head of Great Bash Heel in the one block.
You know what? I bet you, if anything, we could have Yoshihashi go through, take the bye in the second round with the Young Lion, and Jeff Cobb beats him to set up a tag team title defense.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. And then that also will then lead into a match that I think everybody wants to see in the next round, which would be Naito versus Cobb.
Oh, I want to see that again.
Yeah. So
that was really good. It was very good.
That would be...
Especially considering Cobb did the whole thing on one leg. That was a really good match.
Okay. So Best case scenario,
That's best case.
we agree, is Cobb. Worst case scenario is Makabe.
I'm torn. It might be, well, Makabe, it would probably be Makabe because if he's not laying down for Cobb, he's not laying down for anybody.
Yeah.
But then again, Hanma, like, I don't want to watch that many Hanma matches.
I do want to watch that many
any
Hanma matches. I fucking have a really soft spot for Hanma. He wants it so bad. He cuts a croaky promo. He wants autographed a t-shirt, a Honmania t-shirt for me. I like him. Hanma. He's not the worst case scenario for me. Makabe would be the worst case.
Okay.
All
we
right.
agree, Togi Makabe.
Yeah. Okay. Then we swing over. At least Honma's going to try. Is how I look at it. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Then up to the top on the right-hand side, we've got Kota Ibushi versus Great Khan. Now, you have probably seen online how Ibushi's like, nobody even fucking told me the New Japan Cup was coming. I didn't even know. And shit. Like, surely Great Khan's about to smoke him, right? Like, it's just going to be, he's come back too early and he gets minced by Okan.
How does Kota Ibushi not know that the New Japan Cup, it's March, bro?
No, he said they didn't tell him he was in it. He didn't know until it was announced. He's like, I'm not even ready. I'm not at 100%, and they fucking put me in it. Seems unlikely.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But he also probably doesn't even use, like, his phone and shit, and they're like, we're trying to get this fucking motherfucker on the phone. But he's, like, just staring at his blank TV, like, and doing sit-ups for hours, and we can't, like, get in contact. Just put him in. He'll fucking rock up.
Doesn't he think there's, like, 25 hours a day?
Yes.
Yeah.
He also believes, like, he's like Rob Lowe from Parks and Rec, where he's like, I believe that a human could live to be 169 years old, and I believe I am that man. Like, that's who he is as a person. He's insane, and I love it. But I feel like
anybody could do it, it'd be him.
Surely it's an angle. We're probably giving them way too much credit, actually. It'll just be Ibushi comes in and wins. But I would love Great Khan. He's been on this run of singles matches. How cool would it be where it's like he's in the fucking best ring shape he's ever been, just mincing all these people, and then he gets an injured Kota Ibushi and just murders him and sends him straight back to the injured list.
That'd be absolutely fantastic. The thing about this is you finally have all of the United Empire back in Japan. All of them seem motivated. You know, Will Ospreay's pissed off. Jeff Cobb's got something to prove. Great Khan's been just like tearing through chumps left, right, and center the entire time they were gone. You know, Hanare finally back in the country, looking more and more deadly. So like, it could be the United Empire's, you know, the crowning achievement for really establishing the United Empire as a force to be reckoned with in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So let's Okan getting through that, and then Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori is waiting. I think we could agree probably whoever wins out of those two would mince through him. You'd consider him a buy. He's a great wrestler, and it'll be a good match, but he's a junior. He's not gonna beat either of those guys.
The thing is, both of those are going to be fun matches. I think he and Kota would play off each other really well, especially with how fast they both are. I mean, Kota's wrestled people like Ishimori for years, so he'll be able to do something really fun with him. Great Khan, being how funny and ring savvy he is, I think he would have a lot of fun with in a match with someone like Taiji Ishimori. I'm excited to see that either way.
Yeah, no, I think so too. So, and then under them, we've got Oiwa versus Zack Sabre Jr. Obviously, Oiwa is a young lion. I'm sure that is going to be great, but Zack is definitely winning that.
Yeah, Oiwa's my favorite from the current Japanese young lion crop. Mm-hmm. I think that he like I said, he's got this aura of like a super villain around him. Something about him just seems like he's like a heel in training.
Is he the super handsome one that I like?
No, that's Fujita.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where's he at? Didn't we already went past him, didn't we?
Yeah, he's already he was like in one of the buy rounds.
Yeah, so Oi was the other one who's got like a little bit more of a pinched face and just kind of looks like he's got like beady eyes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that if he get in there and just learn from Zack Sabre Jr., see how Zack Sabre does things, Anytime that someone can go and pray at that temple, I'm going to say go for it. You're not going to win. There's no way that Zack Sabre Jr., who won this trophy 4 years ago, is not going to beat a young lion. So, yeah, that's probably a win there.
Yeah, and then that will then cue up what may be one of the funnest matches in the tournament, which will be Zack versus Doki.
Oh yeah, that one's. I'm going to circle that one on the calendar because man, that's going to be a good time.
It's gonna be
Doki, God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
He's so great.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
What a Chad.
And then
Okay.
so then you'll have. What do you think would be best case scenario here? Do you think Great-O-Khan or Zack Sabre Jr.?
I would love to see Great-O-Khan and Zack Sabre Jr. As far as a singles match goes. I think, oh gosh, who would be best? Great-O-Khan. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Zack's already won the trophy before. Zack is established. We can see Zack anytime. He at any point in any match could grab a submission on a champion and then take a shot at their belt.
Well, hear me out.
He's completely believable.
The only reason I'm thinking it may be Zack over Great-O-Khan is because if we look further down, the winner of this will be going on to probably versus Will Ospreay. And I feel like it's way more likely we'll see that Zack-Will Ospreay match that we haven't seen in a very long time than
It's good every time.
Then we would see O-Khan versus Ospreay.
So Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay was the last match that I've seen live.
Oh, wow.
That was right before lockdown. That was when Will Ospreay beat Zack for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight title.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic night, and I haven't been back to a show since then, unfortunately. So I would like to see that match again. I guess they probably wouldn't have O-Khan versus, well, maybe they would.
Actually,
they've had Bullet Club versus Bullet Club before.
Yeah.
You always have, the Chaos Boys, let's go out and be friends and do it. LIJ, they've had Face Off before. You've never had the United Empire.
Yeah, and you can see
really
Will
face
being
off.
like show me what you've got type thing, and O-Khan not really bending over for anybody, and maybe you could do something interesting. So best case scenario then, who do you think? We thinking O-Khan or we thinking Sabre? Maybe O-Khan is the most interesting scenario here because we've seen Sabre.
That's the one I would like to see most.
Yeah, let's do that. O-Khan is our best case scenario. Okay, and then our worst case scenario, this is quite a good block because there's not really a worst case scenario. Like,
I wouldn't want to
Taiji?
see Coda come out of it. I wouldn't want to see Coda come out of it.
how crazy is
Coda
that
is-
where Coda's your worst case scenario? But yeah, I agree. I'm
Yeah.
not excited about that at all.
Coda doesn't need this. He doesn't need this. He's not a geek anymore. He doesn't need to. He's proven that he can win the big one. He doesn't need the win for the championship. He doesn't need a victory that he can hold up and say, this is the career defining moment for me. He doesn't need any of that.
Yeah. And
He can
actually,
take his
now
loss
that you
to
say
O'Connor and
that,
go back and recuperate.
I think that Ibushi may be one of my worst case scenarios to win the entire tournament as far as my interest goes. Like, we've seen him win it, and I am afraid that if this is a work or whatever, and he's coming back from injury, he comes back to win the whole thing because they feel like he needs it for people to remember it, and that would be boring to me. So yeah, that would be worst case scenario. Okay, then down below, we're going to see Young Lion Nakashima versus Hanare. I'm going to be pretty happy to see Hanare take a win, and then Sonata, the US champion, is waiting for him. Now, do we see Hanare pick up a huge win and set up a future US title shot here? Or
Okay, so we're looking at this. It would be really great to see Aaron Hanare set up a title shot against Sonata. That's awesome. But in this block, you would then have Aaron Hanare versus Will Ospreay. And I don't think they're going to do Aaron
does
Hanare
Ospreay
versus
have
Will
to verse
Ospreay.
all his own men?
Yeah. Oh, actually, that would be really cool.
Again, see, it's interesting, but whether they would actually do it is the thing, right? Like, and that's what I mean with this entire layout is it's almost like they're showing their hands with the next round of what, like, you can almost see who it's going to be because it seems super unlikely they would do Hanare. Now, if I'm booking it, I am doing it because I want to just throw everything in the sky and see what sticks, especially in a product that's really quite stale right now. But because then you can also plant those little flags, like little nuggets where it's like maybe they shake hands afterwards, but you see a glance from Hanare and stuff, and then versus Okan, and Okan bows to him and respects him and stuff, but then he's mad, and then you're setting these, because the United Empire to me is like a pretty put together faction. He's kind of put it together really quick, but it doesn't mean it needs to be super stable, especially with people being around. So if there was already sort of rumblings within the faction that maybe Will's too much of a dick to run his own faction and all his other guys don't like him, then that helps to me. That makes it way more interesting than just like we're all in a line and do whatever he says.
Yeah, it could be that they're trying to establish Okan maybe as someone who could challenge Will for leadership. I've been in Japan this whole time. I'm out here, doing my matches and stuff like that, working, and you're, fucking off with canceled people in Ireland and shit like that. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think and also Sonata to me is not good.
Nope.
So I would prefer to see Hanare go through. Huh?
Sonata is usually not good.
Usually not good.
Sonata has tons of upside, but it's just like he has to really be forced into getting it. And I don't think that Aaron Hanare is the kind of dude who could bring it out of him, unfortunately.
No. And like sometimes not even Okada is the guy that can bring that out of him. And that is the scariest thing about Sonata. I think that Hanare would be the most interesting winner out of those three guys. And then below we've got Bushi and Will Ospreay. Kind of nothing to really talk about as far as Bushi goes. It's going to be exactly what you think it is. But El Phantasmo is waiting. Now, Ospreay versus Phantasmo, to me, will be really interesting. I don't think Phantasmo is going to win, but I think that'll be really cool. And, people have said, Phantasmo maybe future leader of the Bullet Club down the track and stuff like that. So there's potential to set up things here that could be very interesting going forward.
Yeah, it would be great to see if Phantasmo can kind of model his game after what Will's done with, changing his body, changing his style, becoming a heavyweight and moving up. People are saying that he could be the next Kenny to do that. I think it'd be great to see him like learn from like a Will Ospreay and see just how to do that. Fantastic. Good time stuff. So looking at it right now, best case scenario, would it be Aaron Hanare or El Phantasmo?
So best case scenario. Oh, you mean even over Will Ospreay? It would be El Phantasmo for me, but I don't think Will Ospreay is a bad choice just because, say what you want about him as a dude, he does deliver great matches. And if he was to come through all of that, then it's in our fantasy booking here, it's Will Ospreay versus Great O'Khan, and that's something I'd like to see. Yeah.
No, he's gonna have great matches. His match with Bushi is gonna be really good. Mm-hmm. His match with El Phantasmo is gonna be really good.
So I'm sorry, did you just say his match with Bushi is gonna be really good?
The last one he had where Hiromu came back was pretty good. Okay. When he was still junior heavyweight champion. That was pretty good. It's going to be fun.
It's been a long time since I've seen a good Bushi match. Best dressed, boringest wrestling. That's the Venn diagram. We've talked about this before.
Yeah. The Venn diagram was what was it? It was Prada and Penn Eater.
Yeah. Nobody knows what we're talking about because that got edited out of our segment of the Super J-Cast. So when Curtis and I guest hosted the Super J-Cast, we played that was an ominous noise. I didn't even know I had virus and threat protection on this computer. So there you go. We played a Venn diagram game where like Curtis would give me a Venn diagram, and then I would say what wrestlers it related to. But we've recently been given the go-ahead to release that, so maybe we'll release that as a bonus episode soon for anybody that wants to listen to our entire hosting duties in full. Yeah.
Yeah, just listen to us talk about a tournament that was over 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly right. Maybe it's really only to amuse ourselves that we would release it. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll decide.
Maybe we were hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe we deserve it.
Yeah, maybe people want to hear the history, the origin of our friendship. But, yeah, anyway. So, what do you think? Are we saying Henare, El Phantasmo, or Will Ospreay is best case scenario?
I think for me, my favorite best case scenario, if I were to look at this with my heart instead of my head, I would want to see El Phantasmo.
Let's go ELP. Fuck it. All right. It's not going to happen. That's not the point of these predictions. We're trying to predict it, like have it be interesting. Okay. And then down to the next block, we're looking at
We got to do the worst case scenario.
Oh, sorry. Oh, did I skip past it? Worst case scenario for me is Sonata.
Sonata. God, Sonata or Bushi, man. No, it'd be Sonata. You're right.
Sonata. Right. Bushi, I'd be like, fucking, what's the next look going to be? At least I've got that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the next cool mask? Yeah, Sonata. Fucking hell, if Sonata won this New Japan Cup, I may cancel the fucking network. Okay. Then Ishii versus Takagi with Tongaloa waiting. Ugh.
Okay. Ishii and Takagi. I think Shingo will probably win that.
Yeah.
The thing about that is he's going to run into Tongaloa. Tongaloa, I've been pulling for him, you know, like during the G1 and things like that. He needs a big win. You know, he proved that he can do the singles matches during a tournament last year during the G1. So I don't think that they would give him that singles win over someone like Shingo. But Ishii will lay down for anybody. He don't give a shit. So like, if Ishii goes through, Tongaloa could get a signature win.
Yeah.
With a newly non-Bullet Club Tongaloa could get a signature win over Tomohiro Ishii. So that might be really cool for him.
Is he going to be a non-Bullet Club Tongaloa? Because even though Chase Owens, fuck, I'm looking at the thing. Even though Jay White kicked him out on Impact, does New Japan care? Are they going to have any continuity? Are they going to do anything?
I'm sure that they would have had to. That would be a move that they approved ahead of time.
Yeah, cool. All right, then. So how about that, then? Upset on Shingo. I know it's a shame because it would mean a lack of Shingo matches, and he's the fucking man. But it would then, that sacrifice would be Tongaloa gets up here, gets a signature win, and will be running into the winner of Chase Owens, Jado, or Tiger Mask. And then he would potentially get into like the, you know, much further in the tournament because of it.
I don't want to see Chase Owens, Jado, or Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask, I like Tiger Mask. I do. But like, do I want to see Tiger Mask versus Chase Owens? No. Do I want to see Tiger Mask versus Jado? Hell no.
Yeah. But is that where it's leading though? Is it leading Tongaloa versus Chase Owens in like a?
Oh. Okay. Yeah, like Bullet Club versus newly kicked out member.
Not Bullet Club.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now that could be interesting. Would New Japan do it or put any fire behind it? I don't know. But there's.
Oh, that would mean giving Chase Owens a couple of wins in this big ass tournament. Yeah, maybe. Because I mean, they did have Chase Owens get that signature win over Tanahashi last year.
So for us though, what's more interesting? Tongaloa getting a bunch of signature wins or Shingo Takagi just getting through all this bullshit to give us great matches later in the tournament?
More best case scenario for me would be Shingo Takagi just ripping ass on people.
Yeah, let's just put in Takagi. Fuck the Bullet Club storyline. Who cares? Then we're not even breaking down that Chase Owens Jado fucking Tiger Mask mess. Down here, Taguchi versus Evil with Tama Tonga. Now, that almost to me says Evil's winning because Tama Tonga, not Bullet Club, versus Evil is interesting.
That's a better version of the story that we were just looking at for Tongaloa. Yeah. So, let's go Evil and then Tama Tonga, and then we're going to see if we can do good guy, like telenovela hottie Tama Tonga over the Evil Evil.
Yeah. And what do we
The
think?
villain.
Tama Tonga picks up the win, thwarts the Bullet Club shit, and sets up a future never shot.
Ooh, that could be a thing. I could see never open weight champion Tama Tonga.
Yeah, I could see it.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
And then he could take the belt back to America if he wanted to, or that'd be great.
The other alternative is down below. It's Hiromu versus Sho with Suzuki waiting in the wings. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to see Hiromu versus Suzuki real bad. Like, I think that would be awesome.
I'm going to counter that with the funny face battle between Sho and Suzuki.
Oh, okay.
They're just going to sit there and pull funny faces at each other for like 25 minutes.
Until someone dies.
I think the best case scenario.
You win when you die because it means that you've pulled the most ridiculous face and you stopped your own heartbeat.
Someone holds up a mirror.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, what have I done? It's like Medusa.
Yeah. It just locks into place and you can never undo it.
You can never. Oh, it's like your mom always told you, if you make funny faces, you're just going to stay like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Except it happens. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so Tama Tonga versus, I'm going to say probably Suzuki, although you can never count out Hiromu. Hiromu got a couple of good wins over heavyweights in the Cup last year, didn't he?
Yeah, and now is this the beginning of Hiromu making the move to heavyweight? So is there a possibility that this Cup in some way can launch him into the heavyweight division? Can we, this is the other alternative, Evil beats Tama Tonga with bullshit, obviously. Hiromu's waiting for him. Hiromu versus Evil. Finally, Hiromu getting to be, remember how upset he was when Evil betrayed everybody, all the screaming, Evil whooped him. What if Hiromu fucking is better now, beats Evil, sets himself up a never championship match, and then can use that to launch himself into the heavyweight division?
I like where your brain's at.
That's the one,
I
right?
like where your brain's at.
That's the one. So
it's got to be the one. Hiromu versus the Hot Boys?
Yeah. And then that leads to Hiromu versus Takagi.
Oh.
Which will be a banger.
Match I want to see.
That'll be a banger.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing we didn't do either. We didn't do our worst case scenario with the Takagi block because it's obviously Jado.
Yeah, obviously Jado.
We didn't even need to talk about it. So we're saying best case scenario is Hiromu. That's really interesting, I think.
I love that. I do love that.
And I don't hate the Tama Tonga angle, but I think Hiromu.
That's like a one. Hiromu is number one, and then Tama Tonga would be 1B.
Yeah.
I would not be upset if Tama Tonga goes through that.
No. But Hiromu's number one there. And then worst case scenario is what? Evil beats everybody?
Yeah. Worst case scenario is always more Evil matches.
Yeah, exactly. Which is probably what's going to happen. So, all right then. That's at the bottom of the bracket. So now we zoom back over to the other side, and we're going to run through our bests and worsts. So over here in the quarterfinals, I think it is. I don't know the numbers or whatever. We've got Tai Chi versus Nagata. Best case scenario. Who you got?
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi. Easy. And then worst case scenario, Tenzan versus Togo.
Oh, Togo.
Okay. Jesus Christ. That's bad. All right. Then, Naito versus Cobb. Who you got?
Oh, okay. Cobb.
Cobb, yeah. And then Ghetto versus Makabe. Fuck it.
Makabe. Makabe would be worse, I think.
Yeah, I think so
Ghetto.
too. Okay. All right. Okan versus ELP.
Ooh, I would want to say Okan.
I would say Okan. Yeah, I think so. ELP, it's just not going to happen, and I can't even picture it really happening. So, not yet anyway. So, I think if he even got that deep, that would be amazing for him.
We love you, ELP.
Yeah.
If you're listening, ELP, if you're listening, and I know you are.
He fucking hates us. He hates everybody.
You're a big fan.
Yeah, exactly. I like to think
I love you.
he is watching though. He would never admit it. Okay, and then Ibushi versus Sonata.
Sonata would be the worst case.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, then Takagi versus Hiromu.
Best case for that would be Takagi.
Yeah,
I'd like for him to cement himself as a main eventer.
Yeah, I think so. And again, I don't know if it's the most interesting story-wise, but it's definitely the most interesting matches I want to watch-wise. And then Jado versus Evil.
That sentence that you just said to me
is worst case scenario. That's code red. That's gouge out my own eyes before doing anything. So it's Jado, right?
Yeah, I think that made my colon shrivel when you said that.
You just lost it. Fucking hell.
No, I think evil might be the worst case scenario there, because I would rather watch 10 Jado matches.
That is not true. That's just simply not true, that you would rather watch
You're
10 Jado matches than an Evil match.
No, I think you're right.
Because I used to like Evil.
Twitter reactionary there.
And you know what? I don't even hate Evil. I just hate all the bullshit that surrounds him. And you know what? I don't even hate the bullshit that surrounds him, because I like heel work and cheating in wrestling. What I hate is their lack of creativity, which is the entire point of everything that we've spoken about, because what they end up doing is just the barest minimum. You know what I mean? We'll just do the exact same thing we did last time. There's no creativity or no thought behind it, and it fucking pissed me off. The thought that we're giving this is already more thought than they've given it, because what will actually happen is not any of these scenarios. Okay. Then we've got Tai Chi versus Togo. Sorry. Tai Chi versus Cobb in best case scenario.
Oh, best case scenario for me would
Tai
be
Chi,
Cobb,
right?
I think.
Oh.
For me, it'd be Cobb. I love Cobb.
You think Cobb winning the New Japan Cup would be better than Tai Chi winning it? Like, I feel like I would love to see Tai Chi win this.
Absolutely, I do. Fucking Jesus. Oh, man. Watching Jeff Cobb versus Okada. Are you kidding me? Jeff Cobb challenges Okada for the world title? Yes.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Because then if Cobb beats Okada, it sets up that match, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
If Cobb beats Okada, or if Cobb wins the New Japan Cup, that's a title challenge, bro.
We may be on two different pages, but think of Tai Chi's little face. Think of how happy he'd be.
Oh man. Oh, think of how happy Miho Abe would be.
I know.
You
want to take that away from her?
Crying?
Do you want to take that away from her?
I don't want to take it away from her. I don't. I would never want to take anything away from Miho Abe.
All right. Well,
She's a sweet girl.
Exactly. Well, let's have a think about this. Let's put a pin in that. We're thinking about it, because that is going to directly relate to who we see out of the winners of the next best case scenario matchup, which would be Okan versus Takagi. So scenarios then for your final, which is what you're really looking at here, is Tai Chi versus Okan or Takagi, or Cobb versus Okan and Takagi. You know, which of those, like, are we talking a final? Are we talking Cobb versus Takagi? Absolute banger. Tai Chi versus Takagi? Absolute banger. Okan. At this point, I think I could knock Okan off. I don't think he's going to win, and I don't think he would deliver the best finals match. So I think I could write him out of this at this point. I can eliminate him.
So we'll have Takagi come out of the right side of the bracket.
I think we can agree with that. Yep.
And then I think either one of those matches. Now we have seen Takagi and Cobb at Wrestle Kingdom 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was fucking banger.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Takagi versus Tai Chi is always a banger. Just pumping bombers till your fucking arms fall off, like, as they just lariat each other's heads and necks forever. And with something like on the line, you know, like the New Japan Cup, like, you know that Tai Chi's going to bring it. Like, is this his big signature win here for Tai Chi? It's not going to happen. Like, I know it's not going to happen. I'm just saying what we would want to happen.
Says Jeff Cobb. I want Jeff. I thought I had Jeff Cobb versus Naito as for the G1 last year.
Yeah.
I thought Jeff Cobb was going to beat Okada. You know, like I was like, I'm on it, man. He may not actually win the title, but I thought he was going to go 10-0, be the only person to go 10-0, or I'm sorry, 9-0 in the G1. You know, he's going to sweep the block.
Yeah.
I thought that, you know.
Plus, as well, one of the only foreigners that like got on the plane and like regularly coming through. Let's do it. Let's go, Cobb. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Taichi got to the semifinals. That's really respectable. And if he got to the semifinals by that point, it meant he beat Okada and he gets a title match anyway. So we're doing that.
But we got our cake and we're eating it too, buddy. That's how that works.
Exactly. Okay, so Cobb, and then, so Togo and Makabe, worst case scenario there. It's a nightmare, isn't it?
I think I would just rather like shoot myself into space on a homemade rocket.
Yeah. I think it's
like
Makabe is the worst case scenario. I don't even know if fucking Togo could work.
Who would be?
You know what I mean?
Who would be the worst case scenario on the other side?
It's Sonata and Jado. So it's definitely. You know what? Jado wouldn't even be my worst case scenario because at least I'd be pissing myself laughing at how ridiculous that entire timeline that we live in is. So I feel like Sonata's my worst case scenario.
Sonata versus Togi Makabe.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh man, this is bad. But see, that's what I'm saying. See, Togo, Makabe, or Jado, if they were holding the New Japan Cup, it just makes me laugh so fucking hard. Sonata winning is my absolute worst case scenario because I just fucking... I don't want him to have anything. Like, he has the US title and I don't care about it. And he kind of looks pretty good with the title. I'll give him that. But that's a scary scenario. Either Ibushi or Sonata are the only two people who could actually stand a chance of winning that I wouldn't want to. You know what I mean? That's the boringest. Yeah. I actively don't want to see that.
I think that's fair because like Ibushi doesn't need it. Sonata is going to get a main event run at some point. They've got to put the belt on him. Like, people love him in Japan, but like I don't think the company trusts him at all,
and they should not.
No, you're right. They shouldn't.
No,
he hasn't proven anything.
He's not consistent.
He hasn't proven anything.
No, he hasn't proven anything. They're going to put him places because he's like got the look and, you know, and all those kind of things. And like you say, he is popular, but he's not there yet. This US run is like, have a go with the belt and see how it goes. It sure does look good on him.
Well, I think that belt, like, I hated it first. I really did. And I think it was when Moxley held it and the paint started scratching and it started looking a little like worn.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, man, you know, actually now that I've seen it a lot, it looks really good. And at this point, I'd say it's probably the best looking belt in the company.
Really?
So, yeah.
Actually, no, you might be right. Yeah. Actually, you're probably right. It probably is the best looking belt in the company.
Yeah, because like the never belt just says never on it. The strong belt just says strong on it. You know, we can talk about the world belt. The world belt, some people love it, some people hate it.
I like it on Okada. I did not like it before, but
I didn't think it was going to look good on Okada at all. But
everything looks good on Okada. Everything looks good on Okada.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's one of those beautiful people.
Yeah, he sure is, that mussy-haired bastard. All right, so winner.
His bedroom eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Best case scenario, Cobb. Worst case scenario, Sonata. I don't think Sonata's he's just got the US title. It seems super unlikely that he would win. But that would be my worst case scenario.
Yeah. I still think the worst case scenario would still be Evil.
I actually think the worst case scenario would still be Ibushi.
You'd rather Evil over Ibushi?
Yes.
Ooh.
I can't even believe I'm saying that. But
no, you know what? I think you might be right because, you know, Evil, you know, can throw like suplexes and lariats when he wants to.
And Ibushi's great, man. And I super like him. I just don't want the most predictable story in the world, the comeback from injury, win the New Japan Cup. I just don't care about it. I just want them to push outside of what they normally do and do something unexpected. That's all I want, is just something that surprises me at all, ever, in wrestling. And it's been very fucking hard lately, and it's wearing me out. Like, yeah.
I love it because there's so many people that are like, I want to be surprised, but I also want to say that I predicted what was going to happen. And then I want something that's going to shock me and I want to like it, but I don't want to like it because I want to bitch on Twitter. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I don't care about this being right, which is why I didn't do a real pick'ems here, because a real pick'ems, like I could probably predict it, because it's, like I said, most likely scenario, probably Okada just wins everything, or like Ibushi wins everything, and those are boring outcomes to me. In reality, Okada will probably steamroll through everybody in his side of the block until he runs into Cobb, and then maybe it's Cobb versus Okada, and then Cobb still gets there.
yeah, Cobb gets his win back from the G1 and then challenges for the title. Probably won't win the title. Okada will get his win back there. But I mean, yeah, I'd love to see Taichi. I'd love to see Taichi set up a win over Okada and challenge for the belt, and then Cobb challenge as well.
Yeah, I think
we could have our cake and eat it too that way.
Yeah, that would be so good. Because whenever you see Okada in a block, it's like that's 11 wrestlers that are immediately out of the tournament. You know what I mean? Because he's just mowing through them all. And that's what I hate. And the other scenario that, like, we knocked him out just in our interesting, but there's also a very real chance you see Will Ospreay all the way to the finals. But I don't think you're going to see Okada again. You know what I mean? Okada versus Will rematch. I mean, there's a chance they'd do it, but it seems sort of unlikely. And so
not this early, not at this time.
Yeah, but yeah. So
he
so
just
who do you
challenged
do
a couple
then?
months ago.
Does Will Ospreay beat Sonata? Oh fuck.
I think Will Ospreay gets beat by Shingo at some point in this cup, because Shingo's like, those two are they're Batman and the Joker. They're fighting forever.
Yeah, I was about to. I was like, is Ibushi knocking him out? Zack Sabre Jr. isn't. I think you're right. I think Will Ospreay beats all 11 in his section there, and then most likely it goes to New Japan Cup semi-final, Ospreay versus Takagi. Those two fight forever. Takagi into the finals. Takagi versus Cobb.
That's soul food, man. That's soul
good.
Food for me, buddy.
Yeah, that'll be
I
good.
love every bit of that.
That'll be good. But that's what I mean. When you do the real pick'ems, it's kind of like...
Shingo.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty cool. So I think it's probably most likely it'll be Okada, Cobb, Takagi, Ospreay as like the final four. But I would love to see it be Taichi, Cobb.
Yes.
Yeah, Ospreay, Takagi is probably, that would be best case scenario.
Yeah.
I think we can expect.
Does that line up? Does that line up? It does line up.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. That
would
be cool.
Definitely don't want Sonata versus Togi Makabe.
No, I don't. I know. Right. Call me crazy. So yeah, anyway, in summary, that to me sort of lays out how this could be really interesting. A lot of people online were really disappointed because, like, they're like 48 men, and there's going to be guests and people will be flying back, and there's going to be
I remember specifically telling you, no, they're going to pull something magical out, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and you were like, just wait. And I'm like, yeah, I've been waiting a long time. I was also really hoping to see some Noah guys in this. That would have been super interesting to me. I feel like it would have been cool to, Kiyomiya's in here or something like that. Like, you didn't need to put the whole roster in there, though. Like, if they did a New Japan Cup that was like Noah versus New Japan, like 50-50 or something, that would have been fucking crazy. But, you understand why they can't. I think this New Japan Cup shows maybe where the company's sort of at financially a little bit. Like, they haven't really sprung out and brought in any real special people. They're like, all these motherfuckers are on contract, we're already paying them, trot them all out. Like, it's how it is. I just hope they tell some stories, man. That's all I hope, is that they tell some stories and it's cool.
Yeah, the thing about it is, I think, I'm going to say this, borders are opening up soon. Everything's loosening up soon. World War III, doesn't happen. Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Then we will get a G1 that might have some surprises in it. You say like the company may not have the financials for it and stuff like that, but I mean, AEW and Impact both owe the company a little bit of a favor.
True.
So maybe they can send over,
Tony Khan's got a
John
jet.
Moxley again or something.
He has a jet. He would just fly
Yes.
somebody in. So, like you say, the restrictions are lifting up, 3-day quarantines, things like that. There's a chance that stuff could happen. Let's hope, if we can just hope that G1 has some surprises in it, that would be absolutely.
Because G1's back in the summer this year. Olympics are over, so we don't have to wait until the fall to get the G1. G1's, so the Cup seems to have been maybe the last bit of snake bite that they've had to deal with. Maybe we can get to the G1. We can have a couple of guests in the G1, like maybe one person from Noah, and then like one person from AEW, one person from Impact. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah,
that could be pretty cool.
Maybe I don't know if it would be. Like I think like Jay White back would be pretty awesome. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about Bryan Danielson, but that would be amazing. And I feel like he would really want to do it.
He does. Yeah, he specifically said the only thing on his checklist right now is to do a G1.
Yeah, right. What would you say
I was telling Shane.
Oh,
I was telling Shane on my podcast that my crazy prediction, how everybody made a crazy prediction. Like you made one, Shane made one.
Yeah.
My crazy prediction is Bryan Danielson in the same block as Okada gets a win over Okada and challenges for a belt before he heads back to America.
Yeah. That would be sick.
That'd be happy. So happy.
That would be sick. What would your thoughts be on the news that happened this morning of Cesaro in the G1?
Bro, I'm a big Cesaro fan. Claudio Castagnoli, I used to watch him in ROH all the time. I love the dude. I would love to see, there's plenty of those old Ring of Honor alums that are now looking for work, who I would love to see any one of them in a G1. Yeah. Danielson, Samoa Joe, Claudio Castagnoli would be right up there for me. I love the dude. So
exactly,
if they put Claudio Castagnoli in a G1, I'd probably mark right out of my pants.
I don't even know how to take the news about him because I like him in that, like, I think he seems like a really nice man. He always puts on good matches, but WWE talent to me is so damaged in a sense and underutilized that I'm never hyped when they're released, for the majority of them. Like when I was at Double or Nothing and Mox appeared, I was not excited at all because I was like I give a fuck about Dean Ambrose was my fucking reaction. I was like, I literally don't care. You have to remember had he done the G1 yet? I don't think he had.
No.
At that point.
No,
so
no.
I was like, it was, I didn't give a fuck because you don't get to see them really do what they can do. And though I know what he did in Ring of Honor and stuff like that, it was a long time ago. So though I am excited to see him do well and maybe get to show what he can do, I think I won't really start to feel that hype train until it actually starts to happen.
I understand that. I think maybe you have to look at these guys not as what they're doing in WWE, what they have the potential to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, yeah, okay, let's take a look at like Samoa Joe. We'll look at Samoa Joe. Mm-hmm. He is someone who's just come from WWE.
He actually is somebody I would be hyped about no matter what, because I even liked him in WWE because he's so fucking good.
He's so good. Oh my God.
One of the best talkers, like one of the best wrestlers. Is he healthy? Like, is he?
I don't think he's healthy.
Yeah. Fuck, I would love
he's
to.
He's got back issues and stuff.
Right. Jesus. I would love to see Samoa Joe active again. He's one of my favorites. Like, yeah. I saw him here in Perth with NXT when he was like the champion. Yeah. I think was he the champion or was it Nakamura at the time? Actually, maybe Nakamura was the champion, but I saw him and the Revival versus Nakamura and DIY. So Gargano
Ooh.
and Ciampa. So yeah,
Yes.
so it was. It was
That's a
Nakamura
thing.
was champion. They were tag champs versus those three. And man, Joe's entrance was just so sick. He was just so pumped. The swag was crazy. And it was like just this killer, like 6-man. It was so good. Headline the night. It was really cool.
Yeah, that sounds like hella good time.
Yeah,
Hella
it
good
was.
time.
I know.
So yeah, maybe Joe's a bad idea because he's a bad example because he is hurt right now. But like, there's other people that have been released by WWE that I would love to just at any moment they could just walk right into New Japan. I'd be just fine with it.
Yeah.
Someone like Keith Lee. I love Keith Lee.
Wow.
I would love to see him just wander into a G1. It probably won't ever happen, but man, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Malachi Black. I mean, he's had a chance to prove himself a little bit in AEW. But yeah, he got released, and I'd love to see or Buddy Murphy. I don't think Buddy Murphy is. I don't think he's in a best of the Super Juniors mode right now because he's kind of put on a shit ton of weight.
He would have to be bigger. Like he would have to be a heavyweight thing. Yeah, he's massive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have a hard time thinking
best of Super Juniors
about that would be crazy. I'd have a hard time thinking about like a couple of those guys like in a G1 because to me they're so polished that's hard to think about them in like a gritty way. But then I would have said that about Moxley before I saw him in that G1, and then I was like, it's kind of like going from like HD just into the real world in a sense. And it's like, oh, okay, right. These guys can, go there. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But regardless of what happens travel-wise and what guests they can have, I just want to see New Japan put its best foot forward. Like after Wrestle Kingdom happened and I saw all those shows announced and all the like same tags that we're seeing over and over, I was like, can somebody just try for one fucking second to do anything? Just tell anything. Like, so let me just throw out like a random story they could have done, but they just didn't. They just went, okay, we'll just wait till Okada versus Naito again and we'll just throw out house shows. Why don't you go, okay, so our boys Goto and Yoshihashi are now finally the World Tag Team Champions, right? And they've wanted it for ages. They're finally it. They've got the big boy belts. Why don't they just put out a challenge? Like it's after a match or whatever at Wrestle Kingdom. It's the after thing. They just go, we're now the best tag team in the world. New Japan, any tag team that wants to step up any night of this tour, you just let us know. And then headlining for the tour, you always have a tag match, and it's those two guys versus a random pairing of two for the titles. Bang, bang, bang. They're doing tag matches anyway, so then give just a mini story for people to get invested in. Like, oh man, these guys are fucking the new fighting champions, and look at them go. They're defending them every single night leading up to the 50th anniversary of the Golden Series show, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, just do anything more than what you're doing, which is nothing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That stuff isn't hard. Like, it's very easy to do. And it gives that undercard and midcard the opportunity to develop and shine and show some personality and have people get invested in them.
Yeah. It's definitely, I understand the you've said that you're tired of the excuse of, we're dealing with COVID protocols and things like that. I get it. But, like between COVID and injuries and things like that. And I'm going to sit here and be an apologist. I bleed New Japan. I love it so much.
Mm-hmm. I just want them to live their best life. I just want them to put their best foot forward. And it is felt, and I know it's hard. And trust me, like in my day-to-day job, I feel the malaise that New Japan feels. And I'm sure they're feeling the same way. It's so hard and it's masked and it's thing and our crowds can't clap and all those things. I get it. But you're doing entertainment, so you need to find a way to entertain. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that there's just, tons of stacks and stacks and stacks of notebooks that are just crossed off. This idea is done. Ibushi's injured. Cross this idea off. Okada's got COVID. Cross this idea off. And so it is so very scattershot right now, but it's almost over. It's almost over.
Almost.
Hang on. Just hang on, bro.
I'm trying. This is why I brought you on here with me, because I knew that you would bring the positivity and talk me back from the ledge.
That's what I'm all about on our show, on the Smark Foundation podcast. We, I always try to be as positive as I can. my co-host is,
Shane can delve into the deep end sometimes, but that's fine. You always bring him back.
Yeah, no, my co-host is Ken. He can look down on a lot of things. He gets a little testy sometimes.
Well, he's going through it a bit too. Like, he's going through like the fatigue of being a wrestling fan in this time. You know, he's a big WWE guy, and he's like, even I would admit, like, it's just been really flat, and he's trying to actively defend it and like it, and he's finding that he's not, you know, and we've all been through it, and that's depressing in a sense, you know, when it's been something that you enjoy and it's sort of your escape from stuff, and you're like, are we really doing this again? Is it the same boring shit? Like, you just start to get pissed off with it, and then, you know, that's where you need to sort of look outside what you normally look for. And the wrestling exists somewhere. Like, the wrestling that you want to see exists somewhere. You just got to find it. But sometimes it can be exhausting finding it.
It can be very. And the thing is, like, a lot of people don't want to deal with that. Like, I always have, you know, friends are like, oh, where are you watching New Japan at? I'm like, literally just on New Japan World. Just, you know, I don't know how to get that. It's like, well, there's an app on your Amazon Fire Stick. Go ahead and just download that and pay the $9 or whatever you were going to pay for the WWE network that you're not using. Yeah. Put it on New Japan World and watch that stuff.
Yeah, goes.
Or you know, like, independent wrestling channel, you know, like, that's a great thing. Fight TV app is just full of stuff that you can watch, and you just got to look for it. So many wrestling fans just want it spoon fed to them.
Yeah. And I
can't.
Yeah. I get it, man. Like, I do most of the stuff I watch is on IWTV, just because I've got the app. It's convenient. There's so much wrestling on there, and I find something, you know? And yeah, like, I can understand, like, somebody like Shane just wanting to come home, turn on his TV or whatever, and just hit play on the next episode of Raw. You know what I mean? It's on every Monday. Yeah. I just want to watch it. I get to see my wrestling, and it's on for a few hours, and it's going to be awesome fun. And then when it's not, you're like, oh, man, really? You've got so many talented people, and there's so many writers, and there's all the money in the world, but we this is what we're doing? Like, I can understand it getting frustrated, you know?
But yeah, and like, that's not to say that I don't get frustrated. There's plenty of times where I'm watching New Japan, and I'm just like, bro, this match again? You know, like, really? I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to watch something else.
Yeah, that's what
I'll go back and I'll watch Shinya Hashimoto versus, you know, Kensuke Sasaki. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I feel the fatigue, so I just don't watch it.
Yeah.
So I'll just go watch something else.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'll look for something. I'll actively look for something. You know, I had a discussion with my wife about the music I grew up listening to. She said that she grew up listening to all the stuff that her brothers and sisters would hand her down. I don't have any older brothers and sisters, so I had to actively look for good music when I was a kid. My parents listened to fucking, like, Dwight Yoakam and shit. So, like,
you're like, I really need to start looking.
I had to go out and find stuff to listen to. Just like wrestling, you have to go out and find the shit you want to watch. It's not hard. There's so much good wrestling right now.
There's so much. Exactly. You just
and like, I mean, how many wrestlers I've discovered through listening to your podcast? Like,
there's lots. Yeah. There's so many.
Like, so many good wrestlers out there. Like I'm big fan. Remington Roar. That's a dude. I really like him. Casanova Valentine. Fucking great. Like, I like these. What was it? Planet Williams.
Aaron Williams.
Aaron Williams. I like him a lot too. Like, and that's just listening to you talk to him, which is like an hour-long promo or whatever for them. And I go, that sounds cool. Let's check that guy out. Like, you just gotta look for it, man.
Yeah. Have you checked out any of Casanova Valentine's new Fear City shows?
No, I haven't. I had to cut back on my wrestling buying that I was watching, unfortunately.
Right. I Might have to give you a
I've
password.
cut down to only New Japan World. That's my only wrestling
Wow.
subscription
Yeah,
right
well,
now.
I mean, it's a good one to choose. You've now got the Lions Roar on there. You got the Strong. You get to see all the main events and stuff. It's worth it. Maybe I'll send you a login or something, so you can check something out. But the New Fish City shows are like, bar shows that he does, and there'll just be, the vibe on them's crazy because everybody's just like in a bar drinking, and then there'll just be bands and wrestling. So it just sort of like cuts to when the matches are in, and there's ridiculous ones and there's bloody ones and there's all sorts of stuff. So I'll send you a link.
Punk rock shows.
Yeah,
Punk rock
exactly.
shows with a wrestling attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
Dig it.
For anybody that did listen to this, I was going to give you a precursor that this is not an interview show today. This is me and my friend talking about New Japan. But I am going to be talking to Casanova again, hopefully pretty soon. He was my third interview back in the day, but we've been trying to catch up to talk about his upcoming match with my man Joel Bateman when he's in America. So we want to talk about that as they have their rematch like 2 years in the making. So that's going to be awesome and promo everything he's got. So if you're familiar with Casanova Valentine and you want to check out his stuff, do so. And if you haven't seen his Vice documentary before, it's a very good watch. It's not very long. It's like 20 minutes max, something like that. Just of talking about how he figured out how to have wrestling and death matches in New York City where the Athletic Commission isn't about it, and he finds a loophole through art, and then manages to become the king of the no-ring deathmatch and essentially invented an entire subgenre of deathmatch wrestling. Before that, it had never really happened. He started it, and it used to be like everybody being like, that's garbage. What are you fucking doing? You're a hack. You're just fighting in bars and bleeding everywhere. And it's now, there are whole promotions based around no-ring deathmatches now because of what he did. And that's like pretty crazy. So yeah,
he's got the best name in the entirety of wrestling.
Yeah, and he's also one of the best promos in wrestling. If you ever hear him go on a tirade and run through his 50 monikers, like he's the fucking man. He's so interesting. He's so fun. Definitely check him out. He's so passionate about wrestling. But yeah. Anyway,
also while we're here, I want to say a big shout out to Darren McCarty. What's up, Darren McCarty?
He'll be listening.
You can see the Colorado Avalanche flag behind me, but that's okay. We'll say what's up to a Detroit Red Wing. How you doing, homie?
That's awesome. Now, Darren, big friend of the show, Commonwealth Connection represent. Lastly, I wanted to ask you, what are you thinking about this New Japan Cup? We want to touch base on this maybe a little bit later into it, and we can maybe recap where we're at come the semifinals or the quarterfinals or something like that.
We should do is do a show right before the final.
Yeah. Okay.
Once the final is set and we know, we can, or I guess depends on when it's all scheduled for. If there's one we can find a little bit of time before the final, that'd be great. If we can only find it a little time like during the semis or something like that, just to see how things have played out. I guess
we'll just see how we're feeling about it. We might be like, I can't believe Makabe's in the finals, like, something like that. So, or we might be
like, I think it'd be more like, I can't believe Makabe's in the final.
Or we may not even want to talk about it again. We might be like, this is the worst New Japan Cup we've ever seen, and it doesn't need to be addressed any further. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, at the very least, maybe we do a recap one way or another. So yeah, definitely.
I'm into it.
I wanted to thank you for your time, man. It's been real busy around here lately. I've got a bunch of episodes I'm trying to get out, but I wanted to try and touch base with you and just hang out for a couple of hours and talk some New Japan, which is pretty fun.
That's my favorite thing to do, man.
Yeah,
I love catching up with you. My homeboy for life now. I feel like I've known you forever, but we've known each other for like 4 months.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
Thank you to the Super J-Cast for introducing me to Curtis, because we got thrown together as guest hosts and we talk every day basically. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Man, thank you for that. Please plug everything Smark Foundation real quick before you get out of here.
Yeah, so I currently the host of the Smark Foundation Podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about retro reviews for different matches. I like to fancy myself as an amateur wrestling historian, so I'll go through and we'll pick a match. Mike host and I will break it down, and I'll do like a little essay about where the world was at the time, that sort of thing. We also like to have a little fun. We do a segment, the one that we just recorded today. We had a guest host on that does a comic book podcast. So we went through and we found our best, our favorite comic book characters that would be the best pro wrestlers.
That's fun.
Yeah, super fun. I also do a RPG and wargaming podcast called Throwing Dice. You can find both of those podcasts anywhere that you can find this podcast. And yeah, it's a lot of fun if you're into things like Warhammer 40,000 or Dungeons and Dragons. You can hear us talk about that sort of thing. Yeah, those are my two shows. Find me on Instagram at eldestructo83. You can find my shows, Throwing Dice Pod on Instagram or the Smark Foundation on Instagram. And yeah, anywhere you can find this show, you should be able to watch or listen to those ones.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate you, man. Thanks for making the time. This was fun. And yeah, let's see how this all shakes out, eh?
Well, we'll be here in about 3 weeks when Sonata's going to win this thing.
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be fucking awesome. I'm going to save so much money by cancelling fucking New Japan World. I would never. I'll support it till the day I die. I love New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Who doesn't?
Well, exactly.
Lots of people don't right now.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Not as much as people are shitting on Noah right now, but oof.
What? I saw a little bit of that quickly before we... Actually, you know what? We'll talk about this off the air. So,
okay.
For the Smark Foundation and for Curtis and for Faces&Feels, remember, it's all about peace, love, and pro wrestling. Thanks everyone for listening. Faces&Feels is a DIY project created and edited in-house by me, Raffe Houston. You can show your support by following us on Instagram at FacesFeelsCast, Twitter at FacesFeelsCast, and Facebook at FacesFeelsCast. Or send us an email with topic suggestions or feedback to facesandfeels@gmail.com. And don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes. Our banger theme is Loose Lips Sink Ships by the Thunder Vipers. Check it out on Spotify. And now hang around for a quick word from some friends of the show. Peace out.
My body is a roadmap of pain.
DeathmatchWorldwide.com, the official online merchandise store that is only for deathmatch wrestling. Featuring official t-shirts from No Peace Underground, John Wayne Murdoch, Akira, Madman Pondo, Zona 23, Neil Diamond Cutter, G. Rayburn, Schlack, Necro Butcher, and many more. If you are a deathmatch wrestling promotion, manager, or platform and are interested in joining the web store, send us an email to deathmatchworldwide@yahoo.com. Deathmatchworldwide.com for the violent feud.
Vinyls and Violence, a brand celebrating a love of music and deathmatch wrestling. Follow on Instagram at Vinyls and Violence. Follow on Twitter at Legalized Ranch, and that's ranch with 2 H's. And buy the shirts from deathmatchworldwide.com. Vinyls and Violence. I'm pretty sure it's like some weirdo shit like Pokemon or something. Yo, let me stop you right there. I just need to holler at everybody and tell them about NordVPN. This service has been a bit of a game changer for me, man. Not only are they one of the first services, to believe in me and to believe in this podcast, which is pretty amazing, but it's also been great to pick up my internet access and throw it around the world. I've been able to access other streaming services. I've been able to check out different shopping sites. It's keeping me safe and sound on the internet and protecting all of my important data. It's been pretty damn awesome. So if you want to give it a chance for yourself, if you want to try it out, if you want to get amongst the glory that is NordVPN, just go to nordvpn.com/feels and use the code FEELS to get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan and at 1 additional month for free. It's also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, nordvpn.com/feels and use the code FEELS.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.